Yeah, no, this is our way of connecting today. Thanks so much for wanting to have this interview and meet here live and direct on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good to talk with you. Thanks for carving some time out. Young Slabby sort of pointed me in your direction, and
Right
I just
on.
kind of went down a little rabbit hole. And it's
Cool.
cool that you're actually in the area. So yeah.
Yeah. I live up here in northern Humboldt or Humboldt North, and I live up in Trinidad actually, and I'm here in Arcata today at Northtown Coffee, my friend Serge's spot.
Okay, nice. You already know I'm down in the Bimbo area. We'll have to meet halfway sometime.
Definitely.
So I'm kind of curious. What all do you do for Cannifest? I was trying to look into it. I couldn't. I mean, are you the founder? That's what I heard. But
It's true. It's true. I started in this community. I started in business 23 years ago. I opened up a grow store called North Coast Horticulture Supply. And then as we wanted to do more community events, but everybody kind of looked at me as just like the hydro shop owner guy, it was hard to approach different organizations locally and say, hey, we want to do community events. Let's come together. They always just kind of looked at me as like the guy that was helping everybody grow a bunch of weed. And so um, we started another company called Humboldt Green Events
yeah,
about 15 years ago, 17 years ago, to start producing community events as community organizers and not just the grow shop guy, right? So
that's true.
My partner Lori Cosgrove and myself founded Cannifest, and we manage over everything Cannifest. Lori and myself, with the help of all the teams that come together, and then our production partners are Maddie and Emily from World Famous Productions. They've been doing lots of big music shows in Humboldt for 15 years or so. And so
That's cool. That's wild.
between Maddie and Emily and Lori and I, we do manage the whole thing. And Lori and I founded it. I came up with the word Cannifest because
That's
it was
dope.
Humboldt's manifest cannabis and festival and trade gathering. It had this really long name that we've shortened it up a little bit.
Nice. So I'm kind of curious. What was like? How have you kind of seen it evolve over the years? When did it first start? Was it back like 2007 or 2017?
So Cannifest, the first one we had, actually Cannifest, was 2016, and we
Okay.
did it at Redwood Acres, which is in Eureka, and it's our it's a state fairgrounds that's in Humboldt County. So it's the Humboldt branch of the state's Redwood Acres, and requested that they allow us to use our agricultural exposium center to have an expo of our county's most cherished and prized agricultural crop, which is cannabis. And I did that meeting in front of the board. There was also all the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts local chapters were all in the meeting, and
Oh damn.
there was over 100 people or so at this meeting, and I was definitely the oddball in the meeting. But I pitched a good story, and it was just from the heart, and they gave us the thumbs up to do Cannifest at Redwood Acres. And at the time, there were different cannabis event permitting perimeters. So we did the event within the state laws at the time, and it was a great event. We had the parade, we had the Yes We Can community parade come through town and land at Cannifest. So it was kind of like we've arrived, we're all here together, and we're gonna have a party here at the State Agricultural Fairground. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of people in our industry and people that have licensing now and stuff, Cannifest was the first time they ever showed up to represent their product at all. In fact, I saw David Perez yesterday, who's King Pounds, and
Uh huh.
he's homies with Tree Daddy, and he's the homie with Jason
Hell
at
yeah.
Ridgeline and all that.
Yeah,
And
those
I
guys are
saw
up in
those
Bimbo.
guys. They were up here in Arcata yesterday, and they stopped by our dispensary, and they were over here at the Fat Bowl store, which is right across the street.
So you've got
So
a
I saw
dispensary too?
I am one of the owners, and I founded the Ganjari dispensary.
Oh, what the hell? Okay,
And Ga
yeah. You guys do the I just saw them post that with the oxygen mask with the terpenes. That's in your
we
spot?
have the world's first terpene infused oxygen bar. We came up with
Oh,
that
hell
concept.
yeah.
And we have a distribution company called Ganjari Distro, and
Okay.
we are responsible for a number of brands that are on the market. In fact, our rosin just got ninth place at the Emerald Cup. Goat X is our brand of rosin, the greatest of all terps. Goat X. And
Go that.
Rambutan was our award-winning rosin.
Yo, that's definitely one of my favorites I've tasted this year is the rambutan. Rambutan.
Right on. So I'm
Nice.
from Philly, so I say things different, but yeah,
I'm from the South, so same thing.
right on. Yeah. So we also have a brand called Fresh Strain, which is the world's first genetically verified cannabis brand,
I
and
worked at
that's
the
something we
I
came up with.
really I worked at the one log down here in Piercy, and we've carried the fresh strain. Really, yeah, really top notch
It's true,
shit.
you guys. Unless I'm missing something down there, when we go in, it looks like we're the only top shelf brand that's being carried other than Cookie's own brand. It looks like to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't speak much on that because I'm not with those guys anymore, but I definitely do prefer now just places that carry more cool stuff. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that you
Well,
guys are one thing on the other.
everything we source is all local. It all comes from our local farmers who we've had relationships with for up to 25 years or so. And yeah, it's just I'm involved in those things as well,
No,
and trying to keep Humboldt County at on the forefront of all things cannabis, and that's what Cannifest is. It's just another example of trying to keep Humboldt County at the forefront of things, and really the culture. It's not just like playing one region against another. It's really about connecting with the people that are like-minded through our culture. And Slabby's a good example. He's on the other side of the state. He lives a different world than we do, but we're all of the same thread. We're doing the same stuff, and the morals and ideals that he and his crew down there run with. It's the same stuff that we're pushing up throughout the community. So I'm glad Slabby introduced
yeah,
us.
absolutely. And I'm glad I mean, a lot of the events I've been to this year, a couple seed swaps, and the Emerald Cup, they've all been like further south near the Bay Area, Cloverdale. So it's really cool to have something that's like closer to home and that's actually like here in the heart of it. So I really appreciate that. That's
That's
what
it.
really got me interested. Yeah. Definitely want to come check out the Gondry though and like try out those terp oxygen masks.
For sure. Yeah, if you know when you're gonna come up or something, I could meet you over there. We could do some terps
Yeah, that'd
together,
be
and
dope.
I could show you what we have going.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we love
Yeah,
that.
and I've heard a lot of good things about you. Not only from Slabby, but a couple of other different people that I hear you're a great leader. What are some of the other things you do in the community? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do is I'm a father. I have four children, and they're all boys. And the youngest one is 7 months old, and the oldest one is 16 and is driving around town now.
Oh God.
So I have a big family, and I keep very active. They all play sports, and we're very active outdoors and hiking and camping and sports, and just enjoying our beautiful scenery here. But I also started with my fiance Sasha and my partner Ken Hammock. The three of us started a nonprofit about 7 years ago called Community Pride and Peace, otherwise known as CPP. And we set up CPP to help find grassroots solutions to community issues. And so we kind of go around. It was started in Arcata, and most of the work we've done in Arcata, but we've done everything from organizing community events, um, or talks just to talk about what's going wrong in the community, to try to find solutions with stakeholders. And we also do cleanups. We clean up rural areas near businesses, or we clean up areas out in the woods. But we try to focus on community spaces and
Hmm.
try to find solutions, and that's community pride and peace. And
That's awesome.
for the last 23 years, I've been selling grow supplies because I started a store 23 years ago called North Coast Horticulture Supply, otherwise known as NHS to the local community. So I've been selling grow supplies and working with farmers for 23 years doing that. And we started another company called One Degree Consulting 7 years ago when all of our interested parties put applications in to then try to get a license with the state. We started a firm and I hired 6 other people, and we worked together to help over 200 local cannabis entrepreneur wannabes either put an application in
Yeah.
or decide that that wasn't the right move. But we helped consult and push forward um, hundreds of local farmers over about a 5 year span because we didn't have those resources locally, and everybody needed them because legalization hit like that,
Hell yeah.
and everyone was still kind of caught with their plants down and just
Yeah.
running around like, what do we do now? So we were just trying to provide solutions, and we came up with some methodology to help people jump through the regulatory hoops. And so that's
Nice.
something
So,
we did. And go ahead, sorry.
oh no, you're good. My bad for interrupting. I'm kind of curious how you see how you've witnessed things change. I mean, even with the event now, with like the legal parameters we have now, like how is it operating within those new dynamics? Has it been fun or?
It's been very challenging. Really, the last 10 years has been challenging in business as a supplier to
Mhm.
farmers. The farmers are now seeing the hardest end of it, but 10 years ago it started, which was this downward slope of really the price of cannabis.
Mhm.
10, say 12 years ago, the highest end herb was like people were paying 4 grand from the farmers in Humboldt for that heady OG 12 years ago. And
Yeah,
now that heady OG is probably going to get you maybe 1500,
if
maybe
that, if it's
1800.
indoor. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like maybe 1800, but it's still less than half of what it once was. And we're just in this cycle of
yeah,
we're a farming community, and so we got a lot of farmers kind of dictating how the business is happening here. And unfortunately, farmers don't have a lot of choices on how to sell their herb at this point. The number one way to do it is to just slash the prices on the herb, and
yeah,
that's having a greater impact through the whole community. It's really changed the industry, and it's allowed purchasers and wholesale companies and dispensaries from out of the area to really put the pressure on us here and drive the pound prices down to a price that isn't sustainable. You know, a
yeah,
lot of outdoor farmers were getting in the $400 range, 350 even for their herb, or even less this year,
yeah,
and that's not sustainable. You can't really produce good herb for 350 or less. It's not. That's not a sustainable model. But when everyone's in competition with each other and all the purchasers are from out of town pitting us against each other locally to lower the pricing, and then the whole market made an adjustment. So over the last 4 years, the prices have gone down and down to a really low price, where the retail price for cannabis hadn't changed in 20 years. Well, it did 2 years ago. For the first time in 20 years, the retail price for an eighth and a quarter and a half ounce, it started to drop because all these companies pushed the farmers down so low that now the competition was at the retail level, and they pushed the prices at the retail level down. So now there's a bunch of brands on the shelf at non-sustainable pricing. They're going to go away because you're not going to get $350 weed to put back in those jars to sell for $9 an eighth. It doesn't make any sense to sell $10 eighths. It's not a good move for our community. And if you're a distributor out there doing that, you're making a bad choice for our community. think about the bigger picture. Um, it out there, people. Think.
Fuck yeah. Think for yourself, seriously.
One thing we're doing this year because we know the farmers take the brunt of the blows here is that we are giving away or sponsoring 99 farms in California to get a booth worth $1,500 at Cannifest for zero cost to them.
That's badass.
And so they can fill out a form on our website. It says the free farmer booth. Just fill it out. It's that simple. Or you can work through HCGA, Sonoma County Growers Alliance, Origins Council, Mendocino Growers Alliance, and I think there's one or two others that are also working to help spread those sponsored booths around the state.
And so if you get a good demand of those, are you planning, what's your like sort of criteria? Are you planning on raffling the spots off, or just sort of first come, first serve? How are you going about choosing those farmers? I'm kind of curious.
Great. Yeah, good question. The first portion of them that we shared with HCGA, those ones are going, um, if they get over 50 applicants, people applying, then they'll do a runoff lottery. So they're saying
Okay.
everybody apply, and if they get more than 50 applications, they'll do a lottery because they have 50 of the booths to give away. The other 49 booths we have at Cannifest to give away and are definitely on a first come, first serve basis. So people are sleeping on a free $1,500 booth right now. And I only saw about 5 applications come in our website for these.
Uh,
Don't sleep on this because you're going to be sad when you have to pay for a booth, or you're going to be trying to say we did something wrong because you didn't get a free one. But the only person doing something wrong if
yeah,
you don't
no,
get a
I'm
free booth
definitely gonna
is
tell a couple friends.
people are sleeping right now. So we just got posters yesterday. So I just started putting this around town. I just started handing out handbills, and we're tattered all up around Arcata now. And so
Okay, I got you for the street team down here.
great. I'll have to get you some supplies. We're
Dope.
coming down there. I think tomorrow. Mike is coming down to the one log. We could definitely do a little handoff.
Okay.
I could stoke you out with a jar of Rambutan possibly too for helping us
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So I'm not there at the one log,
No, I know that.
but you could come see me at the KOA.
Yeah, we'll come. He'll come find you.
Okay, dope. Hell yeah. You got my number.
All right, yeah, let's make that happen. Mike's doing that demo tomorrow, and on Saturday I'll be at Zen in Eureka Zen Dispensary doing a demo for a fresh strain and Goat X.
Okay, that's what's up.
Not many
Hell
people get
yeah.
to see the owners of these companies. I kind of do it all. I'm out here promoting my
I
own
know the
things.
fact that you're running the social media too is what kind of got me. I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like, you've got too much on your hands to be like answering messages and like posting. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's dope as fuck. Like, you've really got a lot of hats you're wearing over there.
I'm a little loopy.
I get it. Same here.
I'm a little loopy, but I will say that I do have a team that helps with everything. So Jacqueline is helping run our Cannifest page, and she's done most of the posting there. I do run my IntoTheCannabyss page, but I have a marketing team. I have 2 people full time, Lauren and Skylar, that do graphic design for us and create all of our imagery and stuff. So I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without having the right team of people. And then Lori is an animal, but she's a beast. She does everything all the time, also. And so social media stuff, we're just learning all this too. You know, social
Yeah,
media is a new way to. It's not that new, but it's a new way to really do business and connect with people. And I enjoy it. I like connecting with people and having conversations. So I started doing live sessions on Instagram right away within a couple weeks. I was like, I can't deal with not seeing my people. So I just started going live every week and started into the cannabis.
I like that. That's cool. And that's pretty like that's really like as authentic and genuine as it gets. Yeah. So I'm curious. You're not entering anything, right? Oh damn, I had like two thoughts. One of them was really cool that yeah, the team that you have is really important and like in line with Cannifest, like it's all about community and just building bridges with one another. That was one thought. And then the other thought, I'm curious, like, obviously you're not, are you throwing anything in the competition? Is that against the rules? And three, what are you?
Question. Great question. Let's talk about let's talk about cultivation competitions or cannabis competitions and how and what we're doing. So
I'm also
our
curious.
competition. Go
Ooh,
ahead.
do you have your six right now? And if so, like, what's your sort of favorite thing to puff on or like grow as
I
medicine?
didn't order that. No, it looks good. Great. So I don't have my six growing right now. In the
Hey,
next day or two.
nice. What you got? I'm curious.
Sprouting, I'm doing a little bit of a hunt. I just got some legend seeds from an East Coast OG from a guy that's about 70 years old.
Okay.
He's been growing weed back in Philly in the swamps and shit in Philadelphia for since the 60s. And he shared with me like 30 different genetics that crosses. And I'm going to pick one of the genetics and I'm going to sprout 10 seeds, 12 seeds, and pick the nicest six
Mhm.
and keep those rolling and see what we can come up with. So a lot of this stuff doesn't even have names. He tells me where he got it from and what it was crossed and all this stuff. But it's like
That's cool as fuck. I'm curious. Hell yeah, I want want to check out your head stash, man.
and so the Head Stash Championship is a rosin and flower. If you vote for your own stuff,
Oh, are we still there?
your your ballot will get tossed.
Yeah.
So
Oh god dang. I know. Almost there. Ah, I know. So close. Damn it. I can hear you. I know. Okay, I'm catching up. God dang.
so our cultivation competition is open to any adult in California that's 21 and over because everybody in California can grow their own. So that means anyone in California can win over 10K of cash and prizes by entering their head sash samples. It's that simple.
That's dope as fuck. I gotta let my buddy Juan know about that. He's one of the Cookies U graduates. He's like working for Mad Cow Genetics now, but I think he might still have his own little home grow. I feel like he should definitely like he's trying to make a name for his own self, you know. So I feel like that's a great way to do it.
I will be involved.
Hell yeah, I entered my name, so we'll see if I get chosen in the raffle for one of the judges. I definitely want to like. I'm hoping just knock out all the competition. But anyways. Yeah.
That's who should be the judges. We have some purchasers, people who actually judge weed on.
That's what's up. And then hash. Okay, so you got a flower competition, hash competition. That's dope. You're talking to Nick T tomorrow. I saw that as well. He's also one of the instructors for my Ganjier class. I'm gonna be doing the live training this Monday, Tuesday. But yeah, that's cool. What the hell was I saying? Sorry, ADHD. But can
Oh,
you talk
good.
more?
You're good.
Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, Friday. Nick T was somebody who got nominated from our team to be a judge. So I hit him up last week, and he accepted the spot to be a judge, and most likely we'll get him out some of his knowledge. And we're going to talk tomorrow about hash or rosin assessment. That's what his specialty is definitely assessing rosin. So who else would you want to have as a judge but somebody that assesses rosin for a living,
Yeah, no, that's
right?
super dope. I've been following him for a minute now since they started the Ganjier course over at the One Log, and yeah, it's cool to see yeah, his knowledge on things. It's wild. Yeah.
Or to see what I can learn from him tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Nice. So you got your studio set up or what?
Tomorrow I'm going to be. I'm not sure where. It's going to be 4:20 tomorrow. I might be at home. I'm trying to get home and do it off the deck
Okay.
if I can.
Nice.
I love having the outdoors as my background whenever I can, like you know.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
we can.
I mean, I wish I had like the whole like setup, seeing you and Slabby in the studio. You know, it's like nice and like official and just.
Yeah, that's the dabbing
The
cabin.
dab
That's
and
the
cabin.
RV that I have. It's at the mechanic right now. So if I get the RV back by 4:20 tomorrow, I will be doing the interview from the RV.
That's dope. I definitely want to come take a tour of
But
the dab and
it's
cabin.
hell yeah. No, it'll be out there. You'll see it over the next few months. We're going to be bringing it around town and stopping by places, and I bring my large microphone with me to start asking people questions out in the community. One of my ongoing questions is, what does legacy mean to you? And the next question I'm running is, since we're having a cultivation and rosin competition, what is it that makes the best cannabis to you? Can I ask you that question? What makes the best cannabis to you? How would you describe the best cannabis?
Oh, damn. Not only does it taste good, but the intentions and outputs that and inputs that went into it are like are pure and like good-hearted. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's all good answers for that. I
And
know
then what was
whenever
your
I ask
first
people that,
question? I missed that one.
oh, legacy. So a lot of the term legacy is being used quite a bit in our industry from East Coast to West Coast. It means something different from people that were 30 years old to people that are 60 years old. It means something different. It's all over the board. There's a lot of different ideas of what that means and how that could, why and how that should be a part of our like cannabis branding. So what does legacy mean to you?
And it's really like the people in this community that have like their heart and their soul and every pretty I mean literally. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Damn it. I want to say like Cab, the name of it when they had like all the like cops and shit like flying around, like the people that were like
Camp.
dodging helicopters and shit.
It was called camp. It was Californians against marijuana production, I think. Oh, I just heard you there again for a second. Hello, hello. All good. All right. I'm still here. I can see you and Brittany.
Oh shit. She tried to come back in for a
Nice.
second.
You
There
in
we
the
go.
mix?
Yeah, people that were like hold it down during cam days and like actually like I don't know dodging helicopters and like holding it down for the community, like I don't know, putting their lives on the line. Like you'd see like a soldier overseas, like that legacy means to
Yeah.
me.
I like calling those folks. I've keyed the term for me is legendary farmers are those folks to me. Those are the
Legendary.
legendary farmers, and legacy means a lot of different things. So I don't let personally I haven't been using that to really describe much in weed because legacy already has a definition, and people are like redefining it based on themselves almost. It's like, well, what I do is legacy, and someone's like, no, what I do is legacy. And then, so there's a lot of different things. People are saying, I'm a legacy farmer, but it's their first year farming. Um, because what they're trying to say is, I think they're going to leave a legacy. They want to leave a legacy behind
Yeah.
because they're sustainable farming. And, that's sustainable farmer. That's not I wouldn't see, but I don't like words that have like vague meanings because then you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you kind of generalize things.
And legacy really meant multi generational. Somebody left you
Yeah.
something. So to me, like legacy comes along with um, privilege. Like to me, legacy and privilege are very much in the same boat. You know, my kids will be privileged to have a legacy left to them, and our community would be privileged to have so many of these people leaving a legacy, and these legendary stories, and this part of our community behind. So it's, I love the word legendary and legacy, but it's like, let's just don't try to claim your legacy just because you're growing sustainable cannabis. Like, good job. A lot of people do that, and you should be. But legacy is like somebody left you something. That's how I see it. You know,
Nice. I like that you make that differentiation. That's funny as fuck.
because sometimes, like, being a local in Humboldt's an interesting thing, because I've been here for 23 years, and there's still a bunch of people that don't consider me local because I'm not, because my parents didn't move here before me and leave me this privilege of life. I found it myself. I want to make sure, I'm trying to leave my kids here because I like this spot, like other people's parents, same thing. So, like, some people that are new to Humboldt in the last 20 years, maybe it's get who moved there on there and built a legacy and left it for them, right? What's wrong with that?
I mean, I moved here within the last 2 or 3 years, and like anywhere, I don't expect anyone to just like welcome me in, and like I feel like there's that a certain level of like respect or whatever to be earned. You sort of have to like, you can't just walk into somebody's house and call it your own. Um, but I say that you've been here 23 years. I've only been here 2 or 3 years, so that's why I make that distinction. But people, if somebody who like walks in and just like buys a piece of property because they're, I don't know, anyways, but anywho, and then calls themselves
Right.
yeah.
Right. And that was my conversation last week. The topic of the conversation was legacies built, not bought. Just what you're saying.
Yeah, hell
You
yeah.
can't just move into a farming community and then buy some land and then say, I'm a legacy farmer. That's
That's not how
no
that
integrity
works.
there. No integrity
Yeah, no.
there. They're
That's
just trying
why,
to
yeah,
steal this legacy as a brand, right? They're just like, I'm a legacy brand.
yeah,
Okay,
it's like
that's
a
a different
marketing
thing.
term
Okay.
basically to them. That's all it is. It's like a
Right.
marketing term.
Where other people are very much attached to that, saying, I've been here for 5 generations and we plan to leave a legacy of sustainability behind. That, you know,
I think, yeah, whenever I think legacy, honestly, like I'm literally right next door to Redwood Roots. So I always think like Ridgeline, Jason, and Chris, and like those guys who, that's pretty much how yeah.
yeah.
And Tina Bella Farms, I mean, she's been here since the 90s as well. And same with Born Season, like her and her kid, like, and Mama K, like her kids were here, like, hiding from the copters. Like that's what I think of when I think, but you're right to make that distinction, not legacy, but legendary. Like, yeah. So I'm glad you made that distinction. So now I think of them more so as legendary than legacy, but uh,
That's how I do it. Nothing. Yeah, that's just how I think of it. It's just a great conversation, and it really, talking about legacy. It just brings up a lot of the aspects that make our community different and better.
hell yeah. Okay, so
It's
last few
always a good
questions.
conversation.
I'm curious what originally brought you out here. You came out here 23 years ago?
I did. So I moved, on my way across the country 24 years ago. Tahoe, excuse me, 21 years ago. I stopped in South Lake
Uh-huh.
Tahoe to visit some friends, and I stayed there for 3 years with my partner at the time, my son's mom, Alicia, and I got a house on the corner of this little street called Carson Avenue in South Lake Tahoe, and a couple weeks later, some guy opened up a store called a grow store. And I'm like, what is this?
What were
So
you
in
doing at that
20
time? I'm curious, like occupational wise. What were you
so
doing?
I moved across the country. I had gone to school for horticulture and landscape design and turf
That's cool
management,
as
so I've
fuck.
always had a green thumb, you know.
Hell yeah, that's
And
dope.
and I also knew how to cook pizzas and cheesesteaks and shit. So in the winter I worked at a pizza place making cheesesteaks and pizzas, and then in the summer and spring and fall I worked at a landscape company in South Lake Tahoe called Tahoe Turf,
That's
and I
dope.
helped run that company for 3 years. And while I was doing that, I saw this little grow shop evolve on the corner of the street I lived on. And when I first moved to Tahoe, um, I went with the owner of that store, Steve Muller. What up, Steve O? And we went and got our medical cannabis cards, which was a new thing at that time. And I was one of the first 100 people in the state of California to get a medical cannabis card in
Did you get the
98.
99 plants?
98. Yeah, there was different local laws that people thought were they should follow, but if you stayed under 99, it was this idea that the feds wouldn't come get you. And so I started growing in Tahoe in my attic and turning lots of the neighbors on. I was the first street on the house to not have snow on the roof in the winter because we had all of our shit growing in the attic, and the snow would slide down off the side. And then the next year we could drive down the street. We're like, oh, look, there's 10 people growing weed in the attic now. Woo!
But I was
And
number
so
one.
I was one of them for sure. And so, yeah, I watched this store evolve. The store was called The Farm. And I used to spend a lot of time in there just like offering my insight and ideas to other farmers and growers that were coming in. And after a couple of years, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to open my own grow shop and do it better than this guy and do it up in Humboldt. And, I didn't really know what I was getting into as far as I didn't realize how well established and how much everybody was already doing the Humboldt thing until I moved
Yeah,
here. And then I
right.
was
That was
like,
me looking at your podcast.
wow,
I'm like, Jesus fuck,
what
great.
the frick, dude? So, like 2001, I moved here, 2000. And I opened a little grow shop. It was 1,200 square feet. I was in there by myself. I didn't know a single person in Humboldt. Um,
Did you have any business
I was on the
experience?
highway. I was the first kid to sell lemonade on the corner.
Hey.
I was the I was the first kid on the block to sell green bud only when I was 16.
But
You
like, I
know,
mean, like writing down, like I don't know, like having a storefront and all that shit. Was that your like first like, dude?
yeah, that
What
was
the
just my
fuck?
first attempt. I was 23 years old. I had like 15 grand of money saved, and I put
Nice.
everything I had. I was there every single day. Um, I I did it solo by myself in the store every day for about a year, and then I hired a person.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was like that's how I got to be known in the community too. I was on the right on Highway 101 in Eureka, and up until that point, all the hydro shops were like hidden.
Yeah.
I opened up right on the highway. I put a big light right in the window, and I would swing the light like this during rush hour when people were driving by. 35,000, 40,000 people a day drive by on Eureka. I was swinging this light. I see people looking over like, "Whoa, what the fuck? You know?" And I
Hustling.
just started trying to get people's attention. Come on in,
That's
say
dope.
hi.
That's awesome. That's cool as fuck. And you, okay, so I think I said that was the last question, but that also made me think, like you said, you have a business for entrepreneurs. Is that kind of like what inspired that? Is like your own journey and kind of like just like taking that bull by the horns and making it on your own? That's cool as fuck,
A
man. I
a
have
hundred
much respect.
percent, 100%. I you know, I grew up in New Jersey and Philly, so I was 19, and then I grabbed all my shit and got as far away as I could get from there. But I had an interesting upbringing. Both of my parents were um, loose drug dealing kind of people. Stealing shit, looting, selling drugs, all kinds of hanging with all the different subculture communities, the hippies, the bikers, you know.
And when was this? Was this like the
Um,
80s or?
yeah, I was born in '76,
Okay.
so in '86 I was 10, and yeah, so I grew up around all this like drug culture and stuff, and at an early age, I realized like all this shit's fucked up, but the herb seems to like there's something special about that because I seen it bring healing to my home. You know, I'd see the energy change when my mom would smoke the herb, and it seemed to have a positive impact in some ways, you know. And
Yeah.
so at a young age, I was like, all right, that shit seems to be different than the rest. And when I was 16, I started smoking herb, and I sold the first bag I bought, you know, because that's how I learned. You don't pay
Say
for weed,
what?
you buy an ounce and you sell 3/4, you keep a quarter, you know. That's what I learned. So that's where my business comes from right there. And I did go to
First
school called
bag. That's
Williamson
wild.
Trade School,
Yeah.
but just a school of hard knocks, you know. That's where
Nah,
I
that's
learned
dope.
business.
Yeah, that's badass. My little brother just graduated as an electrician, and he's already like starting off making more money than I've ever made. And like, he's like 8 years younger than me. So no, I got all the respect for trade school. Do that before college. Don't be stupid and get a liberal arts degree. Um,
Right,
follow your
right.
passions, but
Trades are great. I'm glad I went to a trade school and learned what I did because it definitely propelled me in the direction of my life right now, and I'm grateful for
no, that's
all the
awesome as fuck.
people, all the people along the way that were like helping me make good decisions or trying to give me some advice when I was younger. Like, yeah, maybe you should do this and not. You got to, you know, give respect to those folks and love uh, for giving some guidance because I could be, I could be anywhere. I could have been doing a lot of dumb shit, and lucky for me, I had some good enough people around me to steer me in the right direction. I think, and then just make some good decisions.
So, what's some like what if you can like recall like what's some of the best advice or like the best direction you've got to kind of like set you on this path or like you know sort of sort you out in a way.
One thing I would say is a song from Public Enemy. Don't. That's what I would say for me has always been motivation. Is this? Don't believe the
And
hype.
what does that mean to you?
You know, uh, to me that just means figure it out for yourself. Find find out. Don't believe what people say. I'm like, there's it's the most populated state. That doesn't make any sense. What are all those people doing? And back east, they say, oh, they're California kids. Their parents moved there, and they're rich. I'm like, huh? That ain't real. But if I was to sat there in Philly and just took the advice and ideas that all these people had telling me California is expensive, it would be a bad idea to try to live here because I wouldn't be able to afford it. Don't believe the hype. You know, I
Fuck
moved
yeah!
here.
Don't let anybody tell you what to do.
Oh,
I
you
love
know,
that.
and I would say another piece of advice I would offer is like wherever there's one problem, there's at least five solutions. So don't bitch and complain about it. Just figure shit out. Work hard. There's solutions. There's five solutions to every problem at least. And so
Hell yeah.
to me that is that I live by that, you know, and like and I would say in business, here's my best piece of advice in business is always try to apply the 80/20 rule or the Prado principle, which says 80% of like energy spent will yield the 20% results.
Isn't that humbling to hear?
So if you look at if you take any store, retail store, we'll just say for example, and you take
Turn that up, kids. Turn this shit up.
and you take 80% of everything from that retail store, all the different things, all that stuff is only making the store 20% of its money. It's the 20% of items in the store that are bought most and most frequently and highest priced ones, where the store makes 80% of its profits. And that can be applied to almost any organized plan, whether it's cleaning out the backyard or starting a new business or analyzing how to look at the things that you're doing that are yielding the results mostly. And the shit that's not yielding results, don't spend as much time on it. You're wasting your energy. You know, that's my look at the 80-20 rule, read up about it, think how it applies to what you're doing. And if you're in business and you're not applying the 80-20 rule every day to what you're doing, you're missing it. You're missing it.
I dig that. That's some, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
80% of what I'm doing right now, yeah.
I mean, if I think about what I did today, 80% of what I did today really only got me like 20% of the results I needed. It's the little bit of like this 20% of shit that I did. I can think about the things I did was a small piece of time that yielded me the most results. That's how I start my day off with that shit. Because I know this, you know, doing this right now, this is helping me hit some of my goals. Like this is helping me hit my goals today of talking to people about Cannifest, building community, building the bridge between South and North Humboldt, and just just being myself. You know, if you got to be yourself every day a little bit too, or you forget who you are.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Everyone's got their own thing, but I don't know. I just try to do good things, and I don't expect nothing from nobody.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Some great questions.
Nice. Yeah, I don't want to go too long. I appreciate you coming on here and talking with me. I am like 10 times better in person. I like cannot wait to meet you in person and talk and like get into the nitty gritty of shit. Hopefully I can make it up to the Gondry, but you said your person is coming down south tomorrow. Make sure they link up with me if you could.
I will. I got to make sure it's tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure he's going there tomorrow for the
I think I saw
day.
that they have a little thing going on Friday. I think it's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Good. Yeah. He'll be coming down in the morning. I'll have him trying to hit you up before he gets there to swing by. Say hey.
Hell yeah.
Drop off some posters and
Hell
some rambutan.
Yeah, that's my shit. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Right on.
Hell yeah.
Well, no, thanks for having me. Yeah, for sure. This will be saved on here on. Share it with you. I'm sure somehow I can figure that out, and then we can do whatever we want to do with it.
Yeah, hopefully there's a way. Maybe we can, I don't know, post on both of our pages. We'll see, but either way.
Yeah, it'll stay on the. Yeah, I'm sure you can. I think all the YouTube ones are downloaded, and you can just repost them.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, dope. All right, I'm gonna go finish getting stoned and go jump in the river. Much love. Take care.
Enjoy the river.
Thank you. I will.
Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace. Much love.